Welcome to VillageTV, the story behind small business and entrepreneurs. Today, I'm joined by Sydney's largest independent studio for PC and mobile gaming, Morgan from Epiphany Games. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Man, it's unbelievable what you guys get up to. You build some of Sydney's and some of Australia's biggest mobile games, or PC and mobile games. Games people love to play, people are engaged with, and you've gone from almost nothing to growing Sydney's biggest. And I'm really excited to be sharing that journey with our audience out there. And it's amazing. You've sold companies, you've built up Epiphany Games, and he's about to launch Majestic Nights, which is, it's hot. Everybody is loving it. And what I really want to talk to you today, Morgan, about is how you've got there.
Sure.
How you achieved the success. Because I think a lot of small business owners would love to hear your story.
Yeah, well, we actually started off in the humble house that I rented in Brookvale. We had most of the staff actually shared that house and lived in that space.
Wow.
And I think the main thing that really took us off was a program called the Comet Grant, which was ages and ages ago, because this was in 2004, 2005. Yep. And we actually then landed a big contract with a company called Emergent Games, which was for about $1 million, which essentially allowed us to build a big base of technology, skills, and contacts throughout the games industry.
Great. And then so that grew and grew. And what kind of games, like an example of games that you build out there for people so they have an understanding of what you're doing?
Okay, so we've worked on a variety of games. We've worked on an Underbelly title for the tablet. We've worked on Sherlock. We have worked on our own games, which is Frozen Hearth, Runic Rumble, and now Majestic Nights, which is our latest title. We've done a variety of small games for other people, even charities like the McGrath Foundation. We did a game and did a very cost-effective game for them, which would really impact with their audience. We did that with Garou Games. And essentially what we have done is really built a pipeline for building games. That's where our studio sort of differs from others. We can run a large number of projects concurrently. So currently we have about 8 or 9 projects in the pipe. And of those, some of them are in production, some of them are in pre-production, and some of them are in release.
Oh, wow.
So we have a good team, and we've got a process to get this done.
I'd love to discuss that process, because before the show, Morgan, you said that you've got about a 70-30 split between corporate work that you do in terms of building an engaging audience for corporates through games and other activities, and your own stuff. How do you manage so many different projects and activities with your team?
Okay, so one of the things we do is we place a dedicated producer on each of these games or projects, and we try to make that producer the only producer on that project, so that basically that producer is through it the whole way through.
Nice.
And then what we do is we create skill sets within our staff. So we train junior staff or mid-level staff up to the standard that we need. So they will come in just knowing C++, and by the end of running through our studio for about a year or so, they will know a variety of languages and platforms. So most of our staff are fluent in a variety of programming languages. They understand a variety of mobile platforms. And we also get them onto PC platforms, which is another sort of nightmare to work in.
I'm sure. And tell me, I notice a lot of corporates these days are engaged or finding it more useful to connect and engage with their clientele through games. Mm-hmm. They find it's very empowering and it's a value add to their customers. How have you seen corporates utilize games, or how have you allowed corporates to utilize games as a tool to connect with their community?
Yeah, so one of the major things about games is that you generally see about a 90% engagement rate when somebody gets immersed in a game, which you don't see on television or books or other mediums. And this is because there's a variety of parts of the brain which are active at the same time. Sony did a massive study on this. They know a huge amount of this. They actually hooked people up to ECG machines and CAT scans and actually, measured them while they were playing.
Wow.
So you can really engage with your customers with games. But the other thing is you have to really listen to your game developers, and you have to work with game developers who know what they're talking about, because
They've been playing games for a long time.
they need to play games for a long time, and they need to know what goes into making a good game, how to identify fun, how to find the fun, how to really bring that to the surface, and how to work with a brand.
Okay.
So we've gotten good at finding enjoyment in actually working with any of our clients, because we make sure that we don't push out bad games.
Okay.
Because our reputation is everything. If we lose our reputation, we lose our client base, we lose pretty much everything. And we've got to work with great franchises like Sherlock, which is an awesome TV show.
Yep.
And we're working with some other really great properties. We have also done a variety of really small games. So some people, don't have the big budget. So we try and at least give them an idea of what they can get for, X amount of dollars.
Nice. And I guess there is a return on investment often for these corporates. I mean, they're all looking for return on investment. And what is that return on investment for corporates?
Well, I think the return on investment in doing a corporate game is basically being able to tell more of your story, your actual corporate story and your brand, than you can in your 30-minute advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say we're building a game that's a 2-hour playtime. Generally, we try and get everything to about 2 hours minimum. You can tell a lot of your story in that time.
Nice.
And you can tell things which, you think are cool about your company, and you can push that out and say, did you know that, this company started up like this, or this is something the founder does on the weekend.
Okay.
And we can build that into the story of this game.
Excellent. I love it. I really do. One thing I really want to talk about, I mean, you've been through so many amazing corporate or entrepreneurial experiences, I should say. You've grown companies, you've sold companies, you're building an amazing company at the moment. What do you think has been the difference for you? Why do you think you've been able to get to those points so regularly?
Well, I think it's because I never give up, and I really try and bounce back from any setbacks as quick as I can. Because in this world there is always setbacks.
Yes.
And the better you are at dealing with those setbacks, the more rapidly you can return to what you have to do, which is, get through the next day, do the next thing.
Yes.
And
setbacks are like a way of business, entrepreneurial life.
And not everything works.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. Not everything will work. You might think it's a great idea, but your customers might not think it's a good idea, or your and only until it hits your customers will you really know that it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I think being able to deal with that and manage also the risk of what your first step should be is, I think, the main thing, which is really important.
Excellent. Let's talk about the future now, because I'm really excited. Majestics Nights coming out in October, launch.
Yep.
What can people expect in the gaming community, and why should they be so excited?
Well, they should be so excited because every conspiracy is true. And
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And researching this, I have become a conspiracy theorist. I've learned things that I really wish I didn't know now. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what the players find of that. The other thing is there is going to be a really, really great story. We've got great writers. We've got Sam Jensen and Daniel McMahon working on this. Daniel worked on LA Noire. Sam worked on other games for us and has done a number of corporate games. And I think the thing that people will engage with is the story and the characters and the setting. It's all set in the 80s. So everything is neon,
beautiful,
new romantic music, new wave music, hair metal.
It's the way it was meant to be.
Yeah, the way life was meant to be. Life was good. People were optimistic. So I think that's why this game is going to be successful, and the press have really jumped on it so far.
I can imagine. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories that still baffle the world today, that still people enjoy talking about,
Yep.
and now you get to live them.
That's right. You get to live them and experience them, and you get to see the evidence.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who'd like to go on that journey, because we talk about it, but actually living it through a game, I reckon, would be such a cool experience and such a dynamic thing to actually go and almost tease the mind and play and
Yep.
dig deeper as well, which I think
Yep.
is such a cool thing. Morgan, I think you've done amazingly well in growing your business, and I think there's a lot to be learnt from your experiences. So thank you so much. I
Yep.
appreciate it, and I wish you the best for Majestic Nights. Where should people go find out more, and how can they?
MajesticNights.com.
Oh, too easy.
Too easy, yeah. Just go there and believe.
Believe and follow
Believe.
it. I like it. So, if you're a believer of all the conspiracies out there, which I'm sure there are many of you, this is the time to, I think it's like uncanning the worms. It's sort of like opening it up and letting it loose.
Yeah, and look at what's happening now. But you know, we've got to set the truth free because that's what it wants.
So enjoy. Hop on to majesticnights.com. Morgan from Epiphany Games, thank you so much for joining us on our show. Some really cool points that you've been able to share with us today. And I hope all of you have learned one thing. I think talking to Morgan, there's one thing that definitely stands true, and that's persistence and working through the challenges of being an entrepreneur and small business owner. Stick to it, and you might just be as successful as Morgan over here. Morgan, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Cheers. That's another edition of Village TV. Make sure you subscribe to Village TV and get more interviews with amazing entrepreneurs like Morgan from Epiphany Games. Cheers for now.